Get heavy lighters out and ready, cause here one non-stop fire. Road.
This is Channel of We Rebuilding We, another production by Road Block Prod MM of GGCTV. This is Channel of We Rebuilding We, another production by Road Block Prod MM of GGCTV.
We have breaking news. There is a bombshell in the classified documents case to tell you about. That is thanks to a new court filing from special counsel Jack Smith. Prosecutors revealing for the very first time a potential turning point in their investigation. It led to last month's superseding indictment, telling Judge Cannon that last month an employee at Mar-a-Lago, he's known in the indictment as Trump Employee 4, retained a new lawyer, got new representation, and retracted false testimony from this filing. Quote, when Trump Employee 4 testified before the grand jury in the District of Columbia in March of 2023, he repeatedly denied or claimed not to recall any contacts or conversations about the security footage at Mar-a-Lago. On July 5th, 2023, Trump Employee 4 informed Chief Judge Boasberg that he no longer wished to be represented by Mr. Woodward and that going forward he wished to be represented by the First Assistant Federal Defender. Wow. Immediately after receiving new counsel, Trump Employee 4 retracted his prior false testimony and provided information that implicated Walt Nauta, Mr. De Oliveira, and Trump in efforts to delete security camera footage as set forth in the superseding indictment. Wow. So, Andrew Weissman, help us make sense of the timeline here. I mean, I was on the air with you when the superseding indictment came out, and I'm always gobsmacked at the crimes that Trump gets people to commit on his behalf. It appears that this employee at Mar-a-Lago has changed his testimony to tell the truth, and I wonder how that impacts his status as well as Trump's.
Sure. So this is how you get cooperating witnesses. This looks to me like you have the Mar-a-Lago IT guy went and either gave an interview or gave grand jury testimony that the government could prove was false. And it is also an indictment in a colloquial sense of the legal system when you have so-called House counsel. Cassidy Hutchinson gave everybody a crash course on what happens in this kind of political case. I saw it all the time in Enron. I saw it all the time in mob cases, having handled those at the beginning of my career, where House counsel is not looking out for the interests of the person who they represent. Here, the person wisely got separate counsel. We saw the exact same thing with Cassidy Hutchinson, where she gave testimony about what her prior counsel paid for by folks aligned with Donald Trump had advised her to do, which was, according to her, obstruct justice. Here, with independent counsel, you have somebody who has flipped and is clearly an insider saying what it is that the three charged defendants, that is Mr. Trump, Mr. Nauta, and Mr. De Oliveira, did in connection with the obstruction scheme. It's not surprising that you would have more than
President Trump, I believe, was the best president of the 21st century. It's a fact. And Chris Christie, honest to God, your claim that Donald Trump is motivated by vengeance and grievance would be a lot more credible if your entire campaign were not based on vengeance and grievance against one man. And if people at home want to see a bunch of people blindly bashing Donald Trump without an iota of vision for this country, they could just change the channel to MSNBC right now.
Everything blue. Lahaina burning down. A lot of things that are blue, for some reason, stood the test of the fire. The blue boat was the boat that survived. You got this blue car, and these homes had blue in it. I mean, it gets weird. This is the home from Hurricane Dora that survived, and the owner name was Dora. Got a little blue car right there. you'll see a lot of this blue imagery. This is what's interesting. There's this laser, and it only catches fire to other colors, but not blue. So I had to look it up, and it's because it's a blue laser. It's a blue laser, and that's why it didn't burn the blue. First, you got this little turquoise type blue house, but here's another blue house. This one's painted blue. This is blue, and it survived. Here alone, you can see the blue and red, but you can see a lot of different blue that survived. Right here, blue survived it. The cloth, the boat that survived in the ocean, and these are all just the mainstream articles showing this. The boat was blue. The car that survived, right, it's still blue. And I mean, this is what they showed in the mainstream news. And shout out to my friend, Dana. She pointed this out. This is pattern recognition. And all the people that they show after the devastation are wearing blue. This is where it got weird, and it kind of took a turn for me, where I'm like, there's some type of color symbolism happening here. This fire right here, this blue, survived it. Cut it off from the blue. Right here where the 47 trunk banyan tree survived. You got this like little blue house, restroom that survived. Here's ABC News, the guy in the blue. This girl cleaning is wearing the blue. Good Morning America, this guy's wearing the blue. Just weird. Symbolism. Burnt, but this guy's carrying something blue. So everybody that they're showing in these pictures are wearing blue. So some sort of code. It's some sort of, I don't know what it is. This house, they were showing this in CNN, the blue house over the fire. The sugar cane, this guy looking at it wearing the blue. I mean, it goes on and on. This guy, New York Times, he's wearing the blue. This guy laying down on the blue chair. It does go into the color spectrum, as we did a video on the purple lights, the purple blue lights that are popping up everywhere. The blue light, you got a Blu-ray disc because the blue holds the most information through this light spectrum. And we've covered the optogenetics, how certain lights can put you under mind control. But the color blue is used in a lot of elite logos because it makes you trust. It's I trust you, in a sense. Politicians usually wear blue suits, so you will trust them. You always see politician wearing a blue suit. This all goes into mind control. And let's not forget about this blue mask right here. The blue street lights popping up, the blue and purple street lights. Project Bluebird, which was a mind control operation. Project Bluebird, Twitter's the Bluebird, but Project Bluebeam, that's probably the most important of all this. Using lasers, Project Bluebeam lasers, to create holograms. All the blue and this being blue should say enough about that there's something going on with the blue logo. Here's the blue logo, here's the blue logo, here's the blue logo, here's the blue logo.
Top of recovery efforts there, Hawaii officials are trying to protect residents from predatory land developers offering easy money for those scorched plots. The plan is to buy up the property, offer less than what it's worth, and then jack up the price later. Tom Dempsey has more on those land grabs across Lahaina. Tom.
Good morning, Adrian. Yeah, this morning in Maui, people who lost nearly everything in these wildfires might be getting phone calls about their land, including all cash offers with a quick closing and a hassle-free process. But that could all be a setup by prospective land developers trying to make a quick buck with all this and trying to buy low and sell high. And this morning, state leaders in Hawaii want to get the warning out to people on the island. The deadliest wildfires in the United States in over a century bring scenes of devastation and a rising death toll. But over a week after the fires first began, people in Maui must also deal with developers seeing an opportunity amid tragedy.
I met someone personally that said they were approached at their home and asked if they wanted to sell it. Then went to the neighbor's house, and the neighbor's house, and everybody's house in the corner.
With 2,500 homes and buildings damaged or destroyed, some in Hawaii say they're getting unsolicited offers promising quick money as they deal with the heartbreak of losing so much.
They will offer you $100,000 for your burnt land, is what I'm hearing, and they're calling from all over the place. As a realtor, I can't even think about being so desperate to need to call victims and so insensitive to do that.
As more and more people report getting the calls, Hawaii Governor Josh Green has vowed to protect homeowners, even saying he may instruct the state attorney general to impose a moratorium on home sales in areas like Lahaina.
My intention from start to finish is to make sure that no one is victimized from a land grab.
Rankings done by U.S. News and World Report show Hawaii with the highest cost of living and second lowest for affordable housing availability. While the deals may at first seem attractive, real estate developer Uri Mann says people of Hawaii should keep predators at bay to avoid selling their land for lower than its value.
It's a free market, and people should be able to sell their property if they want to. And the most important thing that we can do is communicate about these predatory practices here on television to make sure that people know that they have options.
Now, the Hawaii Real Estate Commission has even gotten a warning out about all this, saying any exploitative acts will be handled with the fullest extent of the law. We also know lawyers will be available at these relief centers that have been set up to offer free legal advice so no one gets taken advantage of.
Shocking news. The Maui emergency director left the day before the devastating fires happened in Hawaii and checked in this resort. This is a receipt from the resort showing when he checked in, which is the day before of the fire. When he was asked after he came back, why were the sirens not set off?
Do you regret not sounding the sirens?
I do not. As I mentioned earlier, is used primarily for tsunami.
Although locals have stated if they had heard emergency sirens, it would have alerted them and gave them a chance to escape. Why did he leave the night before? He was supposed to be there to attend a FEMA disaster seminar to prepare for disasters like this, according to Hawaii News Now. Is this a pure coincidence? And the seminar is called Pacific Partnership Meeting. And you can see as the day ended, they had a networking event reception at the Longboat Club from 5 to 7, which is the same time people at Maui were running for their lives from the tragic fires that swallowed the whole town and wiped out houses with people stuck inside. What do you think about this? Was this a pure coincidence, or there's something more sinister? My deepest prayers and wishes for all the families that have been affected by these fires.
So I'm sorry, but what the fuck is this? If you look at, you can literally Google it yourself, because I had to Google it myself to make sure that this was actually a real thing. But you know how we just had the fires in Maui? How the fuck did this book already get written and published? Also, notice the publication date, August 10th. Also, notice in the description how it says it chronicles the events from the 8th to the 11th. Bro, we got AI writing books already and then publishing them. Am I the only one that sees like this needs to be shared and this needs to be made aware that we have people or AI already writing books about a natural disaster, publishing on a date, the 10th. That was what, 2 days, a day after the Maui fires even happened? What the
Hawaii, here we come. Ananapuli, Makawani, and Onananalula, Hawaii.
Hawaii? What about Hawaii? Mo? Who's going to Hawaii? Am I going to Hawaii?
Stop saying Hawaii in there. You fools! You've erected a massive concave reflective surface. It will focus the sun's beam in a deadly ray.
Hey! First off, I'd like to thank the good people at Chan Smelting and Mining and Donuts and Tops for neutralizing our wonderful, deadly new logland.
This is Channel of We Rebuilding We, another production by Roadblock Prod MM of GGCT.
Get every lighters out and ready, cause here one non-stop fire. Road.
This is Channel of We Rebuilding We, another production by Roadblock Prod